If you just do it, it'll turn out okay. Hey everyone, time for probably a short episode of Talking Time with Caffeine today because my guest has things to do and places to be. Unfortunately, we can't talk for long, but we'll make what we can the most of it. But first, let him introduce himself.
Hi, my channel is Atheist Junior. It's or you can just call me AJ. That's an abbreviation, which is also representative of my actual name. It is very clever, as you can tell. And I started doing YouTube like about a year ago, and then my channel has really kicked off in the past like 2 months or so because May 1st I debated Kent Hovind, and then later on in the month, I talked to Mr. Batman and Darth Dawkins, and then towards the end of the month, I was able to interview Aaron Ra, and the day before that, Aaron tweeted out a link I did to my video where I was just doing a stream because I saw Kent Hovind doing one of his Whack and Atheist videos against Aaron Ra, and the video was just so stupid. I was like, I have to respond to this. And Aaron tweeted out the link on his Facebook page, and then the video got like almost 2,000 views in a few days. So, and I've been streaming since the start of April, starting off on Amy Newman's channel and Speed of Sound Answers in Atheism stream. So the channel has been doing good the past 2 days, for better or for worse.
Nice. So I guess your first thing my first question is remind me of you said you debated both Kent, Batman, and Dorothy.
Yeah, I had an official debate with Kent. The other two were more just conversations on Discord or on StreamYard. Darth Dawkins, he will only talk to people on Discord, as far as I know, because he has to be able to mute and kick them. But I managed to last an hour with Darth Dawkins. Mr. Batman, he quit after 20 minutes, and then I think the next day or later in that day, he talked to me again and quit after 20 minutes again, or 21 minutes. Okay. But yeah, it was all in 1 month. So I still have PTSD. I still have, night terrors from talking to those people. But
so I guess two were official debates. But I asked this for every Kent debate that I hear about. Was his debate tactics the same as it has always been every Kent debate I've ever seen?
Yes, although I've never seen him pull out a pacifier during a debate and start sucking on it, so that may have been novel.
Congratulations! I guess you made him his brain fully go back.
If I made it go back to where it was, then I don't know where it was in the first place, and I'm scared.
So how did you get your name?
Well, I was brainstorming with a friend of the channel who is called Skepticris, or CJ Young. You can see a stream I did with him on if you look for the Mother's Day stream, and we were in a hangout and just trying to think of the name for my channel, and I got the idea for sort of having an abbreviation matching my name from King Crocoduck, because he was doing a video where he was talking IRL to Ray Comfort, and so the video was from a first person's perspective, and so you could see Ray Comfort, but King Crocoduck has never appeared on camera, and Ray Comfort kept trying to ask King Crocoduck what his name was, and he just kept saying, "Oh, it's KC, like my name's KC," and I was like, that's really clever. Like, and also, which Kent Hovind also did, the first thing Kent Hovind did when he came into the offline stream with us was ask. He was like, "Oh, who's Atheist Junior? I don't see a picture. What's it?" And he asked me, "What's your real name?" And I was like, "It's AJ." He's like, your name stands for Atheist Junior. I was like, no, Kent, you don't get it. he was mad. So that's the reason.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Some people don't want to know some people don't want the real information posted on the internet for reasons, I think he can't realize that. Doesn't care.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like the abbreviation is enough. It's like you don't need to know what my name actually stands for.
So is your daddy Atheist Senior or Atheist the First?
That's what Aaron Ross said when he came on to the first thing he said in the interview was, he said, I was afraid you were going to call me Atheist Senior. That was part of the reasoning behind the name too, is because I'm just a small channel. There are all these big, atheist YouTube channels, some of whom have talked to me or have agreed to talk to me in the future, which is, I don't know if it's too early to announce it, but if you've heard of the Friendly Atheist or Hemant Mehta, he's agreed to come on my channel and talk in August when his teaching is done. And so, yeah, like my channel, it's just it's a small channel, but so, people like Arn, you could call them that, you know what I mean? But the channel is getting bigger. So maybe one day, maybe I'll have to change the name.
Or maybe you'll inspire someone else to be the Atheist the Third.
That would be incredible. So
your YouTube son or daughter.
I've said before that Matt Powell is my son, but if I could have a son who's an atheist, that would be better, because Matt Powell has been a big disappointment to the family.
Yeah, well, but unlike some fundamentalist Christian parents, you accept your kids for who they are, flaws and all. And
right, I'm not going to try and force him to learn science or to be an atheist, or even to not be like an asshole.
Like,
I accept him for who he is.
You're a jerk, we'll punish you, but we love you anyways, Matt.
Yeah, his God will punish him in the afterlife anyway.
So let's talk about your thing. Were you always an atheist, or were you a theist? Did you have to deconvert from the theism route?
No, I mean, I have a story about this on my channel, but I considered myself to be an atheist from about the time I was just in Sunday school, and they told us about Noah's Ark, and I was like, they couldn't fit all that many animals on that boat. Like, hold on. And that was like, that was just it for me. Like, maybe that doesn't sound like a very good reason to some people, but I know for me that was the reason where I was just like, I'm out. Like, I can't believe this stuff. Like, I was not convinced from the get-go, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it took a little bit longer to.
Yeah, and I don't disparage or try to disrespect anybody who like has a different sort of like coming out story. Like, there's no right or wrong way to come to atheism. Like, I think that, I think it's the right decision, but it's not the right thing for everybody. And I don't try to like make fun of anybody who is at a different point in their journey of theology yet. I think it's just different strokes for different folks, I guess, sort of thing.
Awesome. So you said you interviewed. So what was your Kent debate about?
The subject of the debate was, should evolution be taught in public schools? And I was obviously in the yes position, and Kent was arguing no, it shouldn't, which is weird.
But he taught science for 15 years.
I know. I told, this was one of the things I brought up to Kent. I was like, if you wanted, because he said he wanted to teach science in science classes, and I said, if you want to teach science, shouldn't we look to what the consensus is among the scientists and what they think should be taught, or what is the answer to this question, and teach that? And he was like, no. Oh, okay. Because science has been wrong before.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, science once taught that Pluto was a planet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at some old like work I did from like my elementary school, where I was creating a brochure for a hotel on Mars, and there's a diagram of the different planets, and you can see Pluto on there. I'm like, I was lied to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to scientific theories, like lately, there haven't been any scientific theories like relativity or quantum mechanics or evolution that have really been wrong. Like there are things that are wrong in relativity because there are infinities in the math. You know what I mean? It's not really complete yet, but in terms of just flat out being wrong, it hasn't happened in a long time in science.
Yeah, I think that's been for a long time wrong. Things maybe need to be tweaked a little bit, like 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 even Darwin's theory wasn't completely perfectly. We've had to add layers upon it. Like all science, it's built on each other.
Right. Well, he didn't even know about Mendelian genetics when he came out with his theory, so there's no way it could have been complete. But I was talking about this on Speed Stream earlier today, that if you even think about in science, like it's not necessarily that things are proven wrong right now. It's more like things are incomplete, because if you look at just our theory of like matter, of solid objects, okay, you have solid objects that are made of molecules, atoms, and then you can go smaller than that. You have protons, electrons, and neutrons.
And even quarks.
And you go down that, you have a quark, you have the up quark, down quark, etc. And you have our standard model of particle physics, but we just added the Higgs boson to that recently. And if you look at the standard model, there's 3 rows of it, and then there's 1 row, and then it looks to me like there's 3 spaces left. I could be wrong, but we don't even know if our what's called the standard model is complete yet. So there's more work to be done in science, and there's more things to discover. But in terms of proving things wrong, like, oh, we were blatantly wrong this whole time, I don't know if that happens as much. And I think evolution, it's not just an opinion in science. It's a scientific theory, and it's a scientific consensus. It's like climate change,
I guess I got talked about some of Jackson Weed and Tony Reed on my channel before, but it's like a scientific theory isn't a guess. Like I have a theory. It's not a guess. It's a thing, and it's that. And you don't have to have the president sign to a law either. It's laws and theories are different things. People don't realize that sometimes.
Yeah, I just had this discussion on my channel with somebody about creationists love to get this definition of scientific theory, which is a colloquial definition. Like, I have a theory who's going to win the Super Bowl next year, and the scientific theory, which is considered an explanation made up of a body of facts. And there's a hierarchy to hypothesis, theory, or hypothesis, theories, laws, facts, etc. It's like people like Mike Pence, our former vice president, went into the Speaker of the House and told him, the theory of evolution, it's just a theory. Why isn't it a fact?
Yes. That's one of the many things I have against our former vice president. But I think the main thing I think I'm putting on this sometimes is his gay conversion therapy belief he used to have. At least I don't know if he still does it or not.
Yeah. Well, the less said about him, the better.
Yeah, but I said I mentioned before. I mentioned the different layers on my podcast with Leo and Ogre. Like how, like we were talking about this, how the Earth revolves around the sun, not the other way around. First, it was Copernicus, then Galileo, then Kepler, then Newton. Each of them built upon each other.
Mm-hmm.
Different, like I forget I forget. I'm not perfectly for it. See, I know there was for evolution. I know there was Darwin, and then the genetics was Mendel, and then there was the guy that did the population thing.
Well, before you had Darwin, you had Lamarckism.
Oh, yeah.
Lamarck was kind of he was kind of on the right path, but he was sort of barking up the wrong tree because he had a real misunderstanding of heredity and the fact that traits could be passed on to offspring. He thought that
like he thought
a-
if you build up your muscles, whatever, then your children automatically have big muscles.
yeah, and like in a way, there's some truth to that. Like if you're a physically fit person and you have children, like if you're a mom who's physically fit, it's likely that your child will be more healthy. But that's not really genetic. That's more based on just calories and the food intake you have. But like Lamarck thought, like a giraffe could grow its neck over its time after it's already an adult to reach the higher leaves on the trees. And we know now that that's because of natural selection. And I think, like I was talking about this with Gonna Go For It, I think that the idea that even natural selection got the necks of giraffes taller so they could reach the taller trees is incidental, and it had more to do with sexual dimorphism, and that being able to reach the taller trees was just sort of a bonus.
Yeah, I talked about that. The balance between natural and sexual selection with Jackson a few episodes ago.
Oh, Jackson Weed is great. He helped me to prepare for my debate with Ken Hovind quite a bit. Like, he did a lot of edits to my script for my opening statement, and which was good because I didn't want to say anything stupid. So he helped me not do that, I hope.
So you mentioned, of things like you mentioned about you had to cancel your debate with Erica because of power outage.
Yeah, I was going to talk with Erica on Saturday, but about 2 hours before we were going to go live, the power went out because I live in the great state of Texas. And in the area that I live, it was about me and about 4,000 other people had their power out. And the reason for that is because since Texas is not connected to the power grid of the rest of the city, when the power goes out in one area, their way of fixing it is, let's just turn the power off in a different part of the city and give those people power. Which really sucks for the people who get their power turned off. The power doesn't go out. They turn your power off so other people can have power. Because we all have to share.
You mean you're a community of sharing and stuff down in Texas?
Mm-hmm. So if you missed my interview with Erica, blame Governor Abbott. And then also Erica, the video was also supposed to be today, but Erica forgot that she plays Dungeons and Dragons every other Monday when she agreed to schedule on Monday. So it's actually going to be tomorrow, Tuesday at 5. I said in a tweet that my interview with her is getting delayed more than Duke Nukem Forever. So. I know I understand you had to wait a lot longer to talk to her, so maybe I shouldn't complain.
Yeah. I got her in the bad thing of having her write her thesis stuff. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm gonna be grilling her about that too. No, I am interested to find out about that.
I don't think she can talk about. She told me I don't think she can talk about it yet until it's official. Apparently they have big rules about that.
Well, I have that's good. I'll edit some of my questions in because 100% of my questions were about it. No, just kidding.
So yeah, I knew Texas had the power outage in the wintertime, but I think they would have. I think that would be used to having hot weather power outages or something.
Yeah, that's you don't really get used to that because if the air conditioning goes out, it's not good.
Yeah. I know you, but you would think at least Texas would. You assume Texas would have backups for having power outs in a hot time.
You would think that, but we have conservative politicians here who want to put it in God's hands.
I figured having winter time because I thought like Texas don't have winters that often.
Yeah, we were extremely unprepared for the temperatures to get as low as they did in I think it was January or February. I don't know. I blocked that time out of my mind because we lost power for like 3 days. Some people had no power for a week. Homeless people were freezing to death. There was a lot of wrongful deaths, and my house got down to about 50 something degrees, and so we were. I have a fireplace, so we were cutting up old wooden furniture with a hacksaw and throwing it in the fire to stay warm because the grocery stores were sold out of logs the first minute like it happened.
Why don't you just travel to Mexico like your senator did, or representative?
I didn't think of that. Darn. Ted Cruz, you nice guy.
So, is it hard? You and Aaron are from the same state, aren't you?
Yes, I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and Aaron is from Garland, which is basically Dallas, Texas.
Is it hard growing up Is it hard, like basically growing up or living in a state where everyone is the opposite?
Like religious? Where I live personally, not really. I know Aaron, it's a lot worse there because of all the mega churches. But San Antonio is a city that's the majority of the population is Hispanic, and so they're Catholics. And I think those type of people, they don't really shove their religion in your face. They're really not like the evangelical preachers or evangelical white Christians that you might have seen in a cliche. They're a lot nicer. You know what I mean? They're a lot more likely to invite you in, make you menudo or some barbacoa or something like that. And they don't want to be impolite. So I love San Antonio. So I haven't really had that issue.
Nice. So you think else for fun besides interviewing people?
Well, I used to play video games a lot, but I haven't really had the time to anymore. I'm a fan of the Doom games. Like I like Doom, and I've been wanting to play the new Doom Eternal game because it looks awesome. But no, my YouTube has really dominated my time recently. And ever since COVID started, I just stopped going outside. So to answer your question, no.
Doom in the mid '90s or late '90s, I played it. Made me realize that first-person shooter games weren't for me. I suck at them.
And I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan. If you can see, like the sort of artwork I have behind me is from Metal Gear Solid 5 because a lot of people ask me about that.
Yeah, you know what the last first-person shooter I was good at was?
GoldenEye?
Duck Hunt.
Oh, I guess that is a first-person shooter.
That's all. That was one I was good at. Was that game?
That game's tough, so I'm impressed.
Yeah. So like now it's be about me cheating usually.
Yeah. Well, Doom is a fun game. Like I sent out a tweet this morning that said that if you know what this sentence means, that I pistol started all of Plutonia on ultraviolence, and that means we can be friends. I like watching videos about Doom. So it's like I don't really have the time to play video games anymore. Also, my computer is a $100 Chromebook that probably can't run Duck Hunt. So
I think it probably couldn't run Duck Hunt anyways. I think it has to be on one of those old fashioned tubes. I think flat screen monitors, whatever, don't work on them anymore. So I heard at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always been into more of RPGs.
Yeah, like Super Nintendo RPGs.
Yeah, like Zelda or Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the last Final Fantasy I played was Final Fantasy X, and since then the series has gotten a little bit weird for me. I can't follow the story, and I'm somebody who's a Metal Gear Solid fan, and I'm saying your story is too complicated. So
the last official FF game I played was, I think, 11, the online game.
Mm-hmm.
And then but also love my favorite, of course, is the Kingdom Hearts series. It's where they took Final Fantasy and Disney and threw them in the blender.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I saw somebody had gone into the woodshop class and made a Keyblade for their like project.
I actually I have I made a keychain up there in 6th grade. Of course, that was like 20 years before Kingdom Hearts was even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
See it? You can see it right there.
Oh yeah.
I made it in 91, 92. And so that was way before Kingdom Hearts was even a thing.
Well, you knew preemptively.
Oh yeah. And also, I'm also starting to get into a visual novel games.
Oh yeah. Have you played Doki Doki Literature Club? I think it's called.
I haven't got around to it yet. I have so many games on my shelf I haven't got around to because like so I'm gonna play this game. I buy it and like sit to myself for months at a time.
Yeah, it's like Speed of Sound, buying books and not reading them. But maybe I shouldn't spoil it. But it's like a visual novel with some horror elements in it.
I've seen some parody videos about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to play video games on YouTube. It seems a lot easier than just talking about crap and trying to keep that interesting because my streams are, apparently people watch my streams. There's been some good drama on my channel recently that I won't really get into, but it's been a lot of fun. And I'm kind of glad that I had some extra time before I was talking to Erica, because I don't know if you can even hear it in my voice, but I kind of started to lose my voice from streaming too much, and my throat still kind of hurts. So I think maybe it's a good thing I had some time to recover, because I sound like a smoker, even though I've really never smoked cigarettes.
I said that like 4 years ago. I was doing Let's Play videos, and I was also doing I was trying to do a Christmas thing. 25 songs for Christmas. I was gonna sing, and halfway during the thing, my voice let out.
No, that's good timing.
But yeah, apparently, but I got some kind of strep throat or something around that time, because I couldn't even breathe for a while. I couldn't even lay down in bed, because every time I lay down, my throat just closed up. So I had to sleep. I had to sleep pretty much sitting up for a few. I get to the doctor.
And getting vaccinated was pretty bad for you too.
Yeah, I have asthma and sleep apnea, so I could take a chance because I couldn't afford to get COVID. So I've been
getting COVID is like getting pneumonia. So if you have breathing issues already, then that's not good. But yeah, when I got, because I've gotten both vaccines, and the first one, I didn't even notice any side effects, except for I kind of had a weird taste in my mouth for a while, which I know that can happen sometimes with injections. But the second one hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I just felt sick, just straight up sick for like 3 days, and I just tried to get a lot of sleep. But
yeah,
it was kind of rough.
That's what they said. Your second shot hurt you more than your first one, because I think your second shot, you missed some what I was looking for, and it's like, hey, let's get this thing in full force. I guess the first shot's more like a trial period. The second shot's like they go full force out against it now. Like the immune systems are all revved up, ready to go. And like they go all out.
Yeah, well, if you go on Creation Myths on Dr. Dan's channel, he has a really good video called Intro to Vaccines that I learned a lot from, and that sort of explains why the second vaccine feels a lot stronger.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. He was on my channel two times, talking about vaccines and talking about ERVs. How they're another thing for evolution.
Well, I understand one of those things, sort of. Like ERVs are, I'm like Ken Hovind. I'm not prepared for that.
Well, unlike Ken Hovind, it's so simple. As Ken Hovind says, sometimes it's so simple a 5-year-old can understand it. Just kidding.
Right.
But it's
Well,
like,
he has the intellect of a 5-year-old, so that adds up. Sorry, is that Mountain Dew Code Red?
yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
You don't have that in your state?
No, I love Code Red. You know, I wish I could have it pumped into my veins.
Nice. Yeah. Gotta drink the caffeine with the talking time with caffeine.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll have a triple espresso, triple bypass from Starbucks after this, just to make up for it.
Nice. So, besides your upcoming interview with Erica tomorrow, knock on wood, cross fingers, and all that jazz. Anything else coming up on your channel?
Well, I after that, the next one in my interview series is going to be Amy Newman, who I really enjoy going on her channel. If you've ever been on there, it's Midnight Ranting, and like I said, it's pretty far off, but in August, I plan on having Hemant Mehta on the show to talk to him, which I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, the channel it's been doing pretty good. Like, I'm almost to about 300 subs, and the channel passed like 25K views yesterday. So I'm just going to keep making the content that I've been doing, and moving forward with the channel. And the growth has been really good, and my Patreon patrons have been really supportive and helped me get some stuff for the channel to sort of increase the production value. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Gonna Go For It / Peter. The amount of help that he's done for the amount of help that he's given me for the channel pro bono has been unreal. So thank you to Peter.
Nice. Well, I'll be sure to have his channel in the description below. I'd love to talk to you more, but like you said, you have a schedule to keep.
Yeah, I would love to come back on the show though sometime. Maybe with some other guests.
Talk more, or you want to join us in a guest topic like any science thing, whatever you're free to. And for anyone that has extra money, in the live chat, there's a link to my niece's fundraiser. This is going to run laps around her school. Donate so much per lap you want to. The link is in the live chat.
Yes, donate to that. Give lots of money to it.
She's gonna be running at least 35 laps. Last time she ran 35 laps. So at least donate at least $35 per lap.
Well, I'm tired just from you saying that.
Yeah, I used to be a runner, and then I collapsed.
Well, I used to be a runner, but I took an arrow to the knee, so.
All right. Well, and hopefully this Saturday I'm planning to have Jackson and RJ back to talk about speciation.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. Thank you, Jackson, for helping me with my debate.
Yeah, Jackson's full of knowledge, and RJ's full of knowledge too. So before we go, do you have a catchphrase you say at the end of your show? You want to say now that?
No, I really don't. I guess other than just, I'm on Twitter, and I also have a Patreon, and all of my links are just, the website /Atheist Junior, like YouTube, Patreon, and Twitter. And I'll throw my links in the comment of this video, so you can check those out if you want to see more of my stuff.
Awesome. As I always say, never stop learning. Enjoy the randomness. We'll see you all next time. Bye.